And hello YouTube, and today this is my C++ Minecraft clone made in Raylib. Yesterday we managed to make the terrain endless, actually endless. It will generate on for forever. The problem is this is running on the main thread. Our goal for today will be to polish this up, to move it in a separate thread so that we don't have these lag spikes. That's the main goal, to make this terrain generation butterly smooth and maybe even increase the render distance. Also, we had another issue of having memory leak. The memory leak was 40 gigabytes. Unheard of memory leak. If possible, we'll try to fix it. And if we have time, I want to add the player. I want to add the player so that we are able to walk around and explore this endless terrain. For future stream, I would also like to have like biomes and creative inventory and settings, but that will be for a future stream. Today, I want this lag spike to be gone. That's what I want. Yeah, it's very easy to notice. Every time we cross a chunk, it has a lag spike. And also we need to fix up these here where the mesh is missing. If we destroy a block from this sub chunk, it will update it. This needs to not happen. This needs to be fixed. And that's the goal for today. That's the goal for today. Stream health seems to be excellent. That's the goal. Let's do it. So my idea is this needs to be put in another thread. This generation of the meshes. And how are we going to do that? Yo, what's up? How's your day? How's it going? So to move this generation of meshes in a separate thread so that we don't get the lag spike, how are we going to do this? I was thinking about this off stream, and I was thinking of having to use this design pattern. There was something along the lines of like subscribers and publishers. Design pattern, publishers and subscribers. Yeah, publisher, subscriber. This is what I am thinking of using, where the player is the publisher and the separate thread is the subscriber. Or the world is the publisher, I don't care. But the subscriber should be the separate thread. And so the thread will get a signal that some meshes needs to be generated, and it will generate them. The only issue is I will have to synchronize the main thread and the additional thread. I'll have to synchronize the two threads since the main thread is the one that deletes and creates subchunks. So there is a possibility of where we're trying to generate a mesh, but it's being unloaded. And that will be very difficult to do. We're gonna publish the source code someday. If I publish it, it's going to be just the source code, and I don't know who will benefit of that. You will not be able to run it since there are no texture packs. And this is the first thing we'll do, to separate the generation of meshes to the thread. And I'll try to incorporate this design pattern of a publisher and subscriber. I want to see if it's possible for the separate thread to subscribe to either the player or the world, whatever is the publisher. So maybe the publisher has an array list of subscribers. It's just going to be the thread, so doesn't matter. Subscribers, yeah, here it has maybe an array. Oh, this is in JavaScript, maybe this is some kind of an object. I don't know what language they're using. Yeah, JavaScript. They're using JavaScript. They have a callback. So this is probably what gets executed when you subscribe. And so here on user added, this is just console log, subscribe, publish. On user added. Oh yeah, so you subscribe with a callback function, and that function gets called when you hit this publish function, which, what does it do? Oh, it goes over all the subscribers and calls their callback with the data if there is one. And here this is the date, but this is in JavaScript. Hi, I'm back. Does rendering work? I left yesterday. Well, yesterday we got this. This is what we got. The terrain is endless, but the problem is, since it's running on the main thread, it has a lag spike every time it generates. And these are minor issues here for the these missing pieces, since we just need to, like, everything's there. I just need to manage this properly, but that's an easy issue. My focus is on the lag spike. That's a more difficult issue. And to fix the lag spike, I'll have a separate thread that is constantly running. And I'm thinking of having the separate thread to run 20 times a second. That's what I'm thinking. It will be all the time running. It will be running all the time. So first, let's test that. Let's see if we can have a thread that is constantly running. Let's see if we can have that. And we can test it very easily. Let's see if I have to do any commits. What's this code change? What's the history? Set render distance less than 2. Loading and unloading chunks from main thread. I assume this was the work from yesterday. Let's push it and we'll be able to start the work on making progress. Yo, hello, what's up? How's your day? I'm very excited personally to implement this change. If we manage to implement this change, that would be very cool. So let's create a thread that is constantly running. This will be its function, test thread function. This will be the function for the thread, where we will be testing to see if we can keep it running all the time. So we need a while loop. Let's have it be the same one as the raylip one, until the window should close. We can do that. Yo, what's up? How are you? Yeah, so right now we need to move the mesh generation of the subchunks in a separate thread. But before that, I want to see if we can continuously run a separate thread all the time. And here, I need it to run 20 times per second. I want to limit it just in case. Like if it's like a while through loop, it will be constantly outputting something. We can test it even like this. Trace log, log info. I am in separate thread constantly running. Yeah, let's do that. And let's execute it. Where will we? Before the while loop, here. So let's do it with the terrain generation. Here, std thread, constantly running thread, and we give it the function that it should run, and we'll join with the thread when we quit the game. So it should be here. If the thread is joinable, to wait it out, but do we actually need to wait it out, since the while loop, it has a I'm doing desync. Nice. You? Yeah, I'm excited to implement the new feature. What are you making? I'm trying to make right now the terrain is endless, but every time it generates, it has a lag spike. Since it's running on the main thread, I need to move it on a separate thread. That's what the goal for the stream is in the next 3 hours. Where did I quit again? Here. Or when we press the escape key. Let's run it. Yes. Yeah, you can see we have the lag spikes every time the terrain generates. But from the previous stream, we managed to make this endless. This is actually endless. So we're just polishing things in this stream. So let's see here. Yeah, this is the separate thread, and it's constantly running. Did it stop? Did it stop? What happened? Did it stop? Yeah, let's close it. Let's start again. Let's not disturb it. I'll move this outside of here. I'm looking at the output from the separate thread, and for now there are no issues. It's constantly running, which is exactly what we wanted. And we can see it's moving quite fast. It's moving quite fast, so let's slow it down. We don't need it to take up so much compute. We'll try to limit it to 20 times a second. There are lots of trees though. I'm guessing you'll adjust that later. The trees is not my focus. They're just there so we have something to look at. Now here is the issue. We're trying to close the game and it's not working. And it's not working since when we press escape, I've set it so it waits for the thread to stop. But that's wrong. This should happen where? Here, when we say close window. Since it has since the thread has a while window should not close. We need to actually have this be ending. Let's see now if we press escape, does the game end? Yeah, the game ends. Okay. And the thread stopped outputting. Perfect. We have a thread that is constantly running. We need to now make it not be running so to not take up so much compute. Let's make it run 20 times a second. And how are we going to do that? Let's get the last update time. Let's have it be the get time. Get elapsed time in seconds since init window, sure. And in the while loop here, if the current time, let's actually save it, double current time, If current time minus last update time, if it has been more or equal than, now we want it 20 times per second. So 60 seconds divided by 20. No, 20. Let me think about it. 20 times per second. No. Let me think about it. I think it should be like 0.5. Can you show how is it for now? Go back in the what, man? I showed it like 5 or 10 times already. We need to make progress. We need to make progress. If it's 0.5 or 0.5 times 20, yeah, it's 1. Yeah, it should be that. So if 0.05 seconds have passed, then we can actually run the code. And we set the last update time to be current time. This should make it run 20 times a second. Let's test it. Now this should be running, outputting 20 times per second, but it's difficult to confirm it. So let's lower it even more. Let's make it output every 5 seconds. This is so we limit the separate thread to not run so much. Now let's wait and see for an output. Yeah, it should be executing code every 5 seconds. The separate thread, yeah. That's perfect. Now this is where we need to put the mesh generation. So we made progress. Can you show how is it for now? This is it. When will your project be finished? I don't think it will ever be finished since I'm making a Minecraft clone. I don't know when it will be over. Hello, what's up? The Lucas. I know a Lucas. Are you that Lucas? When will your project be finished? You already asked that. Why spam? Hello? Hello? Okay, let's move on. Now, this is perfect. Let's move. So let's move this. We have it's endless. Right now it's endless. And it lags when it tries to generate new chunks. In order to fix that, we will move it to this separate thread that will output here a message here. We'll move the mesh generation here. We'll move it there so that we don't get this issue. And now it froze up. All other Lucas are knockoffs. What's up? Hello? Hello? What's up? Well, to prove that you need to fight in a tournament and prove which Lucas is the real one. Yo, hello Petsa, hello. What's up? We have a separate thread and we've set it to run 20 times per second. Perfect. Here, generate new mesh. Here is where we will generate the mesh for the terrain. This is where we'll do it. And we already have a thread that generates this terrain, the initial terrain generation. We'll remove that. The initial generation. So that all of the mesh generation happens in a single thread. We'll have to remove it. This is the function that does the code. Here it actually also generates the blocks. Let me think about it. We can move. What if we, before that, let's try to move this, the block generation. To here. Yeah, here to here. Let's move it here. The block generation. Yeah, we need this to generate blocks. And we need a block spawner. That should be it. Just so the thread only handles mesh generation. Okay, sure, fine. Nice. Now. Now the thread only handles mesh generation. And this is the initial version where it generates the meshes initially when we start the game. I have a thread that generates the meshes for these chunks, but we need to remove that because we want to move to the this design pattern, the publisher and subscriber. The idea is either the world or the player, when we go to a new chunk, let's even open Minecraft. When we go to a new chunk, to publish and notify subscribers to do their work. That's the idea. And here they have an example with JavaScript. I'm not sure how that will work with C++, but we'll see. But I'll just open Minecraft because there it's easier to visualize what I'm talking about, especially when moving through neighboring chunks. The debug visualizations here make it easier. Yeah, this is it. So this is one chunk, these yellow lines. This is the chunk I'm currently in. And when we move to a neighboring one, look at how it executes code. Like it loads the new subchunks and unloads the one behind us. We already have this, but we need to move it to a separate thread. And my idea is when we cross here to notify the thread that it needs to do its work. But actually, as I think about it, the design pattern will not be of help because look at how it executes this version. When you subscribe, you give it a function, and this function, when you publish, it's executed here. It will execute it in the same thread of the publisher, and the publisher is on the main thread. Either it's the player or the world. I'll have to think about this, how I'm going to approach it. Hello. Is the Josh Battle Royale all over again? When your game finished, do you think adding servers? It will be interesting if there's multiplayer, since it would be very cool if my Minecraft clone can interact with the Minecraft server. Like here, imagine if you're playing here and you can play through my Minecraft clone as well. That would be wild. If I can manage to do that. But command blocks, I haven't thought about that. Yo, hello Creeper, what's up? We got some regular viewers. Oh, here they have a Python implementation as well, but they also do it with a callback. And for working with threads, that will not be of use. Okay, they have a Java version as well. Nice. Do they have a C++ version? I don't think they have one. Yeah, they don't. Bummer. People already made Roblox and Minecraft crossover. Really? Roblox and Minecraft crossover, that's wild. If you can do a crossover from Roblox, then with C++ it should be way easier. Yeah, like launcher, but different. How are we going to notify the thread that it needs to... Let's remove this mesh generation. Let's remove it. Let's remove that mesh generation. Where was the terrain generation? Yeah, here. Generate terrain. Generate all meshes. We'll just return here. So there should be no meshes generated. Yeah, there are no meshes generated. Let's visualize a grid so we know where we are. Yeah, let's draw a grid. Yeah, there's the grid, but it's far down. Can we make it... What if we increase here? Yeah, there's our grid. Let's make it further apart. Yeah. Oh, what? Oh yeah, this is on the main thread. I was wondering what happened. Yeah, that's on the main thread. I need to remove this as well. It will happen on a separate thread. Now, where was the code for that? I need to remove all of these. I don't need them. I don't need this. I don't need this. Like that. Unloading chunks. Generating new subchunk mesh. Here, let's remove this. Let's remove that. And now we don't have any terrain generation. If we break a block, it will generate a mesh. Okay, it didn't because there isn't a mesh created. When we break a block, it updates the mesh. But here there is no mesh to update. But that was an experiment. Yeah, now we want the mesh generation to happen in a separate thread. Look at how now when we move around, there is no like lag. There's no lag spikes when we move around now. There are absolutely no lag spikes because the issue was the mesh generation takes a lot of computation. And we are right now going to move that part. We're going to move it. Yo, what's up? There was a guy on YouTube that made a Minecraft clone and successfully joined server. I think his project is open sourced. I'm not interested in looking his code, but it's the good thing is that it confirms it's possible, so should be able to do it then. If it's not that difficult. You can find YouTube people are doing Grace mode in Minecraft now. Would it work if it was just a queue of chunks to be rendered? No, a queue of chunks is bad. I'm using a hash map since I have a very fast access if I need a particular chunk using its origin. My cousin and plays PUBG has his own clan. Do you use AI for assistance sometimes? I avoid heavily using. I avoid using the AI, since when the AI does something, I don't have a satisfaction when it's achieved through AI, so I avoid it. I hope he doesn't. I'm interested. Yeah, like you can just look at the streams, like how I code during streams is how I code outside of streams. I code the same way. Yeah, I removed this, and now there are no subchunks generated. When do you think AI is ethical to be used? I'm not the person to give you an answer to that. Like, I just make Minecraft clones. Like, I have no idea. I have no idea. Okay, so. Yeah, we need the mesh to generate through the separate thread. We need to notify it that we need generation of meshes. We need to notify it somehow. And we are currently in the main thread. And that other thread is actually running now. And I've stopped the output to the console, but it's actually running the separate thread. And it's monitoring constantly if I need mesh generation, but I'm not notifying it. And my idea was to use this design pattern, the publisher and subscriber. My idea was the player to be publisher when I need to generate a mesh to notify the subscriber, which is the separate thread. That was my idea, but here once I looked at the code, they use a callback. This will be called from the publisher here when you hit publish. So when I cross a chunk, I'll need generated mesh for the chunks. And I'll execute this publish from the main thread, which will just execute this function, which is the callback. But I assume it will be running on the main thread. So this idea, I don't think it will be of use to me. But that was my initial idea of how to notify the thread. That was the initial idea. I love coding stuff and I'm learning C. C++ a bit. What version of Minecraft are you trying to replicate? I prefer to be the old Minecraft, as close to what Notch did on his own, since I'm one person. I don't want to replicate what a company is doing. So whatever Mojang or whatever Microsoft is trying to do, I'll avoid it since I'm a single developer. Or is it just trying to make something similar to Minecraft? If you cannot find any docs about the thing you're using, have you ever thought about collaborating with other on this Minecraft clone? Who do you suppose I should collaborate with? And I'm not a fan with collaborating for this project, like to get a team, since I want to be the one to, like it's the same with the AI. When the AI like does the progress, I don't get the satisfaction. If I get a teammate and he does the thing, I don't get the satisfaction from achieving it. And like, this is my entertainment. But if it's for like, I'm more interested in collaborating when trying to make my own game. That's more interesting. And I'm collaborating with an artist, animator, but it will not be with a programmer. A Minecraft clone. Have you fixed the lag spikes? And no, we're trying to fix that currently. And that's why we have the separate thread. And what happens if set to 12 or 16 chunks rendering? We'll cover that for sure. 30 minutes and already 20 people. Nice. I would use a channel. Oh, send a message to the thread to generate the mesh. Yeah, that's interesting. Then when the thread is done, it adds the mesh to a channel and the main thread checks the channel every frame for meshes. Let me think about that. Oh, but why not let the thread directly edit the data? Why not do it like that instead of waiting for a response and then the main thread to have to use that mesh? Because right now my thread, I have a here my previous thread directly had access to since my world is a singleton, has a static, like here, a function to get the subchunks. and that function gets the data from here, this static world data, which is just the unordered map, and my thread can get access to this. The only issue is if I give it access to the thread, I'll need to synchronize it with the main thread when I make changes. That's the only issue. That's the only issue. But I think your idea is a better approach. I think it would be easier to do. Yeah, we'll look up on the internet for a channel. If you can synchronize access, then you can access directly. The channel is basically a way to see. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I was thinking of using a mutex to synchronize it. I had it in... Where did I have a mutex? Get block type. Where did I have a mutex? Oh yeah, in the template, I think. Or the mesh pool. I need to look at the CPP. The mesh pool data. Yeah, here I had a mutex. I was trying to synchronize working with threads with a mutex, but with a channel should make it easier to organize everything. I'll look up the channel, how that would work, because I haven't used channels. Do you plan to add greedy meshing? No, I'll never add greedy meshing. First time culling, I'll attempt to do first time culling. That's very important since it will give huge boost in performance, huge boost. That will be really worth it. Greedy meshing, even Minecraft doesn't do greedy meshing. Like I'm doing what Minecraft does. They don't use greedy meshing since in render doc, you can look at the draw calls, you can inspect the mesh, and when inspecting the mesh, it shows they don't use greedy meshing, and greedy meshing will be very difficult to implement with custom blocks. People already asking to collaborate with you. If you can synchronize access, then you can access it directly. Yeah, I read that. What is greedy meshing? Greedy meshing is when you see, like, there are many YouTubers, youtube.com, Minecraft optimization. There are many videos on YouTube optimizing Minecraft, like making a Minecraft clone optimized. And some of them use greedy meshing in their video. And they have interesting visuals on how they do that, and what exactly greedy meshing is. You can look up the videos, maybe some of them will explain greedy meshing, but I'm avoiding it. I have no interest in greedy meshing. Oh yeah, here, remaking Minecraft greedy meshing. Maybe here they visualize greedy meshing. Basically, you, instead of having a lot of cubes, the mesh, instead of being like separate cubes, they are combined together in a single mesh, like a single big cube, you could say. Like it's as if, where's my game? Yeah, but I removed the meshes. Like when you have one, oh, I can show you in Blockbench. When you have one cube, loud assets, models. Let's look at the grass block. Here, when you have one block, this is actually like, where's the wireframe? Shading. Do they show wireframe? Solid wireframe, yeah. This is the wireframe of a single block. And when you have lots of blocks, you'll have a lot of cubes like these. But greedy meshing makes it so, like if you have here, like, let's say 2 blocks. If we copy paste it here, Look at how when creating another block, it creates another mesh. And all of these meshes are like, you have to have here additional, for each one of these vertices, which is the pointy parts of the cube, you have to give it like a lot of data, like positions, colors, normals, that's a lot of data. And greedy meshing makes it so, instead of having these two separate meshes for the two blocks, they get combined into a single mesh. So these at the middle will be gone. This vertex here will be gone, and this will be, it will be as if you scale this. It's as if you're scaling a single block. Resize. It's as if you have scaled it. That's the difference. And it will be like that. That's greedy meshing, but then it's difficult to fix up the textures. Here now the textures are stretched. You need to figure out the textures and what are you going to do with complex blocks. Here you have like the anvil, let's say. Yeah, you have the anvil. And let's say you have like, how are you going to greedy mesh an anvil? like, I don't know. But I'm not at all interested in greedy meshing. I don't care about greedy meshing. What's up? When do you plan on adding the HUD? I already have the HUD, but in the Java clone. I'll add it when we have the player. I don't blame you, greedy meshing is hard to do, but if you were able to do it, then you would probably gain... I don't care about that. I don't care about that. Put on sensor videos to unstimulated. What the... Hi, hello. I was bro's only view. Maskeli. And now like 30 people watching, bro. It's like watching Mona Lisa getting painted. Maskeli is wild. Yeah, I remember when I implemented the skeletons and all of these chats were just Maskeli. And he was making company. Texturing after greedy meshing is easy, just clamped. I highly recommend adding it. Very simple. No, I don't. Yeah, what are you going to do with the more complicated blocks with greedy meshing? Like, I don't just have dirt blocks. I have anvils. I have... What are you going to do with the redstone repeater, the torches? They're custom meshes. If you implemented greedy meshing once, you can solve the texture. I don't care about the texture thing. Like, I know it's solvable. I know it's solvable. So have you done cat? What is cat? Yeah. I was watching you when you implement the cursed skeleton. Yeah, that was wild. I had brainstorm about pivot offset. Yeah, the pivot offsets were wild. And you had... you don't greedy mesh the... Yeah, sure, like, I can ignore the complex blocks, but it will just make it a mess to manage everything. Like, some blocks to be greedy meshed, other blocks to not be greedy meshed. As of now, it's fine, like, it's fine. The fix was easy, bruh, it's not an issue. You could just ignore using greedy meshing. We're not doing greedy meshing, we're doing endless terrain. Like, let's focus a bit. It's not easy. We could greedy only... No, chill, no, let's not get excited about greedy meshing. We're trying to make the terrain endless. Like right now, it's actually endless, but we are not generating the meshes. And I'm trying to notify the thread, a separate thread, to generate the meshes. Or at least to give me a generated mesh. At least that. And one of you guys suggested using a channel. So well, let's see what a channel is. I have no idea what a channel is. Maybe I've used it in university, but I didn't study in university too much. It was very boring. I learned more making my Minecraft clone than in uni, since I'm excited to do this. It's internal motivation, it's not external, like having an exam and a deadline. Channel, communication with thread, C++. Let's see, how can we communicate with a thread? Inter-thread communication, multi-threading, channels, CPP channel, multi-threading. Let's see what the channel is. Is there something conditional variable? I've seen a conditional variable when I attempted to do a thread pool. Here, I was searching on Google tutorial for a thread pool, and either it was Stack Overflow, it was some kind of a page, and they had this thread pool like to use it, and they used conditional variables. That's where I've heard about conditional variables, but I stopped using this since it was too complicated. I just use a simple thread. Here I just execute, create a simple thread, and that's it. Yeah, let's see what conditional variable is and if they talk about channels. What did I miss? We need fix RAM problem. Yeah, RAM. We went, the memory leak was like 40 gigabytes. We haven't fixed that. We haven't fixed that. What we're working on, making the train endless. How much RAM does it? Browse bare 1 MB. What if you gave me this 1 MB? How are you meshing right now? Right now I'm using Raylib. Raylib has a class for creating a mesh. Here I have, yeah, this is to generate a mesh. I go over all the blocks in the current sub chunk, and I go over the neighbors, the top neighbor, bottom neighbor. This is for culling the faces, but then I have to go over through more neighbors. This is for ambient occlusion. And then I have to create I need to get the data for the block itself that I generate through the JSON files. For example, this is for the anvil, and here it has like for culling as well. I generate the block data through the JSON file. Then I have the data. I need to insert it in my arrays. Here the arrays, these arrays. I need to insert it here. I have to think of a way to not rely on like arrays like these. Then I calculate how many indices I will need to give them an offset, since I change the order sometimes for the ambient occlusion. And here's the actual mesh preparation. I'm using the Raylib mesh class here. The Raylib mesh class needs vertices, texture coordinates, normals, colors, and the indices. I fill up the data. Here, which is just going through what I have collected through all the blocks that I've iterated through. And I have to allocate some memory for all of the arrays. I have to allocate memory. And yeah, I just set this flag to true that the mesh has been generated. And then a model needs to be created, and no, this mesh needs to be uploaded. Yeah, the mesh needs to be uploaded, which Raylib handles. Raylib uploads the mesh, and then I need to load a model from that mesh. This is again from Raylib. Then I just draw the model with the appropriate like shader, textures. That's the process for generating the mesh. As of now, there's no greedy meshing. Are you gonna get sued by Mojang? Well, if I don't release the project, we're fine. I assume. I assume. Bro made the calculations, etc. Game was supposed to use. Yeah, game needs to be a lot less RAM. He's going to get... I'm working on my inject client. And why RAM leaks over, and does it also happen? I don't know about Python. Like here, here in C++, I'm managing the memory myself. Like in Java, in C#, you have a garbage collector that manages the memory for you. And so in C++, since I'm creating like pointers, like here is an example. Like here, this data I created in the heap. This is memory I have created that I have to delete. I manage this memory, this array of like block IDs. And when I destroy the subchunk, I delete the array from the heap. If I don't delete it, that's where the memory leak comes from. I need to see what data I have created that I have not deleted. That's where the memory leak comes from. And we managed to reach 40 gigabytes of RAM memory leak in the previous stream. Bro was like modern Minecraft using 3 gigabyte and my clone using... Yeah, Maskeli has very good memory for some reason. That's very good memory. I don't think you can get memory leaks in Python. You can use concurrent queue for inter-thread communication. Oh, concurrent queue. I get it. Yeah, let's use a data structure that's good for multi-threading. Let's use that's a good call. We can try it and see what happens. Concurrent queue, and we'll make the queue of requests. No. I will need to receive back the mesh data. Maybe two queues, one for the requests and another queue for the results, and they are concurrent. And that's how I can do it. Yeah, that's how we can do it. Yeah, thank you for that. Plug and play, that's what we want. Plug and play. I want it to be easy and simple. It is difficult. If you do, you should get an award. There is a server where you can play from Half-Life 1. At the same time, there's also even more games. So yeah, that's cool and awesome. How much optimization have you done? I'm not focusing on optimization. I'm focusing on adding features. I much prefer to have all the mobs, the dragon, etc. to have the player and not be optimized than to be optimized but to have nothing as features. I want the game to be playable, just like my Java clone. Probably negative optimization if considered bearable. You don't have to call manually. I see what you're doing. Makes sense. Just change the texture of the blocks. The only way you could get sued using texture sound, pretty sure. There are projects like that use texture and sounds. What do you think of simple smart pointers? I'm already using them. I'm using them smart pointers in the block factory here. I have a cache of like block classes, and when I need extra like data for like, is a block transparent? Instead of storing it for every like block in a subchunk, which is many blocks, I just have classes and I go to the singleton block factory, call this function with the ID of the block, and either it will create a class and it will give me a shared pointer of it, or it will give me a cached one here in the cache, which is a hash map of like shared pointers of the block class, which before it had abstract methods, but right now it doesn't have any abstract methods. Like I was doing this function is transparent, I had it abstract, and the other ones overrode it, but I didn't need to do that. Now they are just very simple. They're like here the grass block. In the constructor, I just set up the configuration. I set it here like a boolean is transparent false, what is the JSON model, and here to add a custom collision box that I use for the block hover. But that's where I use shared pointers. I use them here, like smart pointers. I was thinking of using unique pointer, since shared pointer keeps reference of how many like accesses we have, but I couldn't think of how to do it with a unique pointer. I don't think it will be possible. Use concurrent queue on GitHub. Okay, we'll look at it as well. We'll check that out as well. Concurrent queue, what's this? A fast multi-producer, multi-consumer, log-free concurrent queue. That's interesting. But first we'll try the... is this in... Let's do C++, please. That I think was for something else. Concurrent queue class. Yeah, this is one. We'll try if we have any defaults from the like default libraries. If not, we'll try this. We have many options. I have the worst memory ever. Any lib? I'm using Raylib, and I'm using... What else I'm using? I'm using a library to parse JSON files. I'm using a library for Perlin noise, which is a single header file. And I'm using Tracy for profiling. This physics one, I'm not using it. This is my library where I wanted to implement physics from a book, but I'm not using it right now. I'm not using it right now. Yes, you can double buffer too, I feel, but cause... Oh yes, you can implement yourself. It's very lightweight though, single header. Are you looking for texture? I'm not looking right now. You should make a Discord server for this. I had one, but I deleted it. It was too distracting. It was too distracting. Why an Anvil JSON script, CPP and other H? That's a good question actually. Okay, I need to make them separated. I need to make them separated since, like here, the Anvil JSON doesn't have a value for if it has... Like, okay, let's look at the... No, let's look at the... the leaves. Let's look at the leaves. I need them... Here, they have a property that they're transparent. Here, the leaves. This property, where am I going to get that property from? I need it. That's why I need the separate header file, the separate JSON file, and it's only those two. There's no CPP. But that's how I did it in my Java clone, because I need to have a class for every block. I need to have that. Since, for example, how am I going to handle redstone? The redstone needs a separate block. Where's my redstone? For the redstone logic, here redstone torch, when you place it, when you place the redstone torch, it needs to give out signal. And on update, it needs to handle some logic. On removal, it needs to remove signal. But that's just the torch. The redstone itself, like they need a separate class. They need it. Like why are Anvil's JSON and CPP separated? What are header using for Perlin noise? Perlin noise, it's a single header. It's this one. It's this one. Just search for this, you will find it. But that's what I found from a simple Google search. There may be better options. Yo, hello, what's up? I have a question. What data are you keeping for each block? For each block, right now, I'm keeping only like the block type. Only that, as of now. Where is it? In the subchunk? Yeah, here. I'm just keeping the block type. But in the Java clone, I have more data for each block. In the Java clone, I have the skylight source. I have the block light, skylight, bottom direction. Like in Java, I have more per each block. Yo, what's up? Yo, hope this can help out. Chill. Like I'm really thankful for like giving support, but like it would be, if we think about it, it would be better if you like keep it for yourself. Like while watching the stream, use that money to treat yourself with a snack, with some coffee. Like use that money for that. Like while you're enjoying the stream, to like get something for yourself. That would be enjoyable. But yeah, like, but still, thank you, man. Like it means a lot. Yeah, I'll save you. This is the first one. I'll put you to Excalibur. Here. Yeah. The first so humble. Why do you stop working on your Java clone? Oh, because the blocks are entities. That's interesting. Yeah, but thank you again. You're the first one. That's significant. Why do you stop working on the Java clone? In the Java clone, because I reached like an end to it. Like, because here I'll show you an example. Like, I have this entity. Like, I saw how Unity does entities, and I copied it for my Java clone here, and using components. But I had an old entity system, and I'm still using it. I cannot easily remove it. It became quite a mess. And for the blocks, I started using the JSON files here. I started using the JSON files, but some other blocks don't use them. I have multiple old systems and new systems running at the same time. The project became a big mess. Like Maskeli can tell you about that. If you want good textures, I recommend Mindtest Game Block. It's open source. When will you have version of Godot? When will we have a version of Godot? Well, I have a Godot version, but it's just the terrain generation. I really wanted to try Godot to see how it is like in Godot, and I really liked the experience, but I liked Raylib more, and I stuck with Raylib. Yeah, I have the terrain generation in Godot. If I would have to pick between Unity and Godot, I would have picked Godot. My only issue was that you couldn't work with entities from the scene here while the game is running. But a viewer told me that that's not true. You can actually change objects while the game is running. Where was that? In remote, here, you have access to everything that's generated. Here, this is everything generated, all the meshes. Here, this is one of the mesh, and you can play around with them. It's just like in Unity. That was the only thing stopping me from switching to Godot, and this was really cool. Here, I can change them while the game is running, and everything is updating. So Godot is a perfect option to use if you want to use a game engine. But right now, I'm enjoying Raylib a lot more. Because Raylib offers me OpenGL, direct access to OpenGL. Here, I have Raylib library, the source code, and I can change whatever I want in Raylib. And they use OpenGL for rendering. I love Raylib. Raylib is perfect for me. I have a question. What are the blocks in Minecraft? I don't know how it is in Minecraft, but here they say in Hytale the blocks are entities. That's very weird. For example, the piston in Minecraft, I'm pretty sure, here if we add a piston here, game mode creative, here if we add a piston, right now it's a block, I'm pretty sure, in Minecraft. And if we put here a torch, during the animation I think it becomes an entity. During the animation, look at how here you have ambient occlusion, and while the animation is running, that ambient occlusion is gone. Even now it's gone. I think here it's a block and now it's an entity. So I think Minecraft does both. Some blocks are just blocks and others are entities. Project management was so bad that Java clone bro had to waste whole stream just to fix simple bug like skeleton. Project management legit made me question bro sanity. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks. GD script is very simple. Like bro nerfing himself with the project management. One thing I learned is that I don't generate nodes to create chunks. One thing I learned is that I don't generate nodes to create chunks. I send them directly to the rendering server. Oh, you have a rendering server. This optimizes the number of nodes and consequently the engine's calculations. Let me think about that. So you have a rendering server. One thing I learned is that I don't generate nodes. What's a node? What's a node? To create chunks. Like you don't generate classes or like heap data or send them directly to the rendering server. Some blocks are entities, some are not, but mostly not entity. An entity block in Minecraft is the item frame. Chess etc. counts as entity, like how Goku and Rock Lee were heavy close to use put instead of C++. Node are the things at scene. Object single. Oh, nodes. Yeah, nodes. I get it. This one. Oh, yeah, here. Yeah. So when we run this, it's these ones. So you don't create these nodes. I get it. I see. Yeah, but this is the good old project. I'm not giving it that much attention. Yeah, let's make progress, man. Let's make progress. Let's make progress. For me, nodes will be entities. That would be node in my game. That would be a node for me. Like in with the components. So here in the Java clone, the entity, I would just have an entity, and here the map of components. Here I would have a component for like here this mesh instance 3D. I would have a component that's this. That's how it would be in my game. Yeah. So let's try to communicate with the thread with this concurrent queue. Do we have it directly? Can we directly access it? In the world, in the data, where is the, here? In the world data, let's add some concurrent queues and let's see, are they in like the STD? Concurrent. Current. Where is it? Concurrent queue. Not this, I think. Concurrent queue. Do we have it here? Let's just test it. Do we have to implement include? Yes, we have. Wait a minute. Is it STD? Concurrent queue is not a. It's not a template. Really? Oh, STD. And it says it's not. No member concur. It's not in STD. Where is it? Yeah, template. And the type. I should be able to give it type. So here I should be able to do vector3, for example. Concurrent queue. Let's look at example. That will solve all my questions. Example. Or any kind of documentation. Oh, don't tell me he has his code as images. That's weird. At this point, or greedy mesh some type recurring Friday cartoon will. Godot allows you to create classes using in the future, which will be very useful for you if you are waiting for the 900-hour video of learning Godot and recreating Minecraft. Yeah, using an engine is very helpful. Yeah, I'll save this comment as well as future reference. I'll bookmark you right next to here. Then how do I get it? Concurrent queue. I need this queue to communicate with my thread. Namespace concurrency. What is this namespace? Concurrency. Oh my god. Concurrency. What? And it's with a capital letter. What is this namespace? Concurrent queue. Okay. We have we can communicate with the thread this way. So let's have request. Here we'll request to render the meshes, but I think I was thinking of giving the request to be the position of the player. Something like that. So here to request, the request to be the position of the player and the thread to know, okay, I need to generate like the meshes around him. But that will not be okay, because when we move around, how will the thread know if some subchunks needs a mesh to be generated? The thread doesn't need to know that. So let's have the request to be just the subchunk that needs a mesh generated. That will be it. And should we get the result back? That's what I'm thinking. Should we get the result back? Rendered meshes. And here to be a mesh. Should we get the result back is what I'm wondering. Let me think about it. If we get it back, we need to go over this queue. We need to go over it and to give this mesh to the appropriate subchunk. So it will need an indication of which mesh that is. It needs an indication. So some kind of structure like thread mesh result, something like that. And here to be the mesh, rendered mesh, and here the vector 3 mesh origin, something like that. And here to give me the result, something like that. And I can go through the rendered meshes and give them to the appropriate subchunk. And this will actually work, most likely. Most likely this will work. Most likely. You gonna make it downloadable? Probably not. For a while I was doing nothing, but today I decided to make a comic or animation. Have a nice day. When I do serious progress, I will share with you. Make a video about it, document your progress. That will be of big use to you. WSG. I don't know what that is. You grinding on the project even sometimes has give me inspiration. Well, when there are 0 viewers, I make a lot more progress. So I benefit in both cases. Either when people are watching or not. I have their pros and cons in both cases. Even if there are 0 viewers, it's like going in a library. Like, I don't procrastinate. I'm much more focused. I'm much more focused. Yeah, bye Maskeli. Thank you for joining and making company here to me and chat. Now, I need to fill up these requests. That's what I need to do. So, here, this is only where we will focus, here. Or actually we can do it here as, let me think about it. Yeah, let's do it here. Here, instead of generating the mesh like before, we can, instead of generating the mesh, we need to give a request. We need to give a request. And we need to create a function for that. Static void request subchunk mesh generation vector3 mesh origin subchunk origin actually subchunk origin, and then let's create this. Let's create this and we'll just fill up the queue with a request. Let's fill it up. World data request push subchunk origin. Can't we do a const reference? Yeah, let's update the definition as well. And instead of in the main thread generating the mesh, we will request it. That's the difference. We'll request it. Here, so in the world, request, and we will request the position. That's the difference. And let's comment this out. Now we are doing the request, and the thread needs to check for that request. It needs to go over the queue. It needs to go over the queue here. Let me think about it. Should it go over all of the requests? So a while true loop? Or how should I go about it? Yeah, let's do while world. I need reference to it. So let's make a function. Get subchunks mesh generation requests. Let's comment this out. And the return type will be... What will be the return type? Where is the world? Have fun, thank you. I hope this time skeletons won't cause problems. Bye, yeah. Hey, what's up? What's up? I need to get reference to it. Need to get reference to it. So it's this. It's that. So can I make it like a reference? Probably. And I need to have the include be there. Let's go in the header. And no, not in the header, in the CPP. This, let's remove it needs to be in the header, so it doesn't cause me issues here. And let's do an implementation where it just returns it. World data request. Yeah, that's it. And the thread. And the thread. Where is the thread? Here. Yeah, I'll call it here, but I need here to include it as well. Do I include the world? Yeah, include the world, which should automatically include that as well. But let's get a reference to it. Concurrent queue of vector3 requests to equal this, and I need to implement it. I need to include the header. Sure, let's include the header. And what's up? Concurrent. What did I use? Concurrency. My bad. Let's remove the include. Most likely I'm getting it from the world. Yeah, I'm getting it from the world header. Yeah, so while this is not empty, while it's not empty, I need to get the vector3 subchunk origin to be requests pop. Try pop. Excuse me? Why try? Yo, what's up? I'm trying to make the world endless. It's actually endless, but I'm moving it in a separate thread, the mesh generation, so that it doesn't have a lag spike. You should get a team to do this. Yeah, but it will not be fun then. For the Minecraft clone, I don't want a team. If I make a game of my own, I'll definitely need a team. I'll need an artist, I'll need somebody that makes music, somebody that can make Steam capsule art, but that's if I do my own game. This is just a project where I learn how to code games. So we have a clear, we have an empty, we have push, try pop. Yeah, we need to do a try pop. We need to do a try pop. And what's up? This. Oh, I need to give it reference. Oh. Like I need to give it an object. Yeah, try pop. Okay, I see. And why is it try? Why is it try? If it was successfully dequeued. Oh, it returns a boolean. Okay, so I have to do an if check. If this is true. If it has successfully gotten a subchunk request. And now here we need to generate its mesh. So here I have an idea. For the subchunk, let's make the generate mesh function be static and to return a generated mesh. Let's do that. So subchunk, let's go inside of the header and generate mesh. Let's make it return a mesh, an actual mesh. Let's make it return an actual mesh and make it static. Generate mesh. And only yeah, that would be damn it. That would be here. I would need position. vector const reference subchunk origin, and let's copy this subchunk origin. Yeah, let's remove this mutex lock, and it needs to return a mesh here, but yeah, actually mesh generated mesh to be equal to this, initialized with a 0. That's what will return. That's what will return here. Return this, and we'll not be able to use this flag. And generated mesh here, it will be all of these. Now, how can I quickly select all of them? Like this, like that. Yeah, that's it. Sure. And I need to handle all of these errors, but in the end it will return a mesh that I'll reuse. Hey yo, what's up? Proud to be your subscriber. +1 subscriber. Yo, nice. Yo, what's up, plus channel? How's your day? Joined a few minutes ago. How far have you gotten here? We're pretty close, actually. We're pretty close. Since we got help from a viewer, it was very helpful suggestion on how to communicate with the thread by using a concurrent queue. And I'm sending requests to the thread to generate meshes, but the thread now needs to generate them. That's what we're doing here. The thread needs to generate them. I need a reference pointer to the current subchunk, which would be from the world get subchunk. Let me think about it. Subchunk origin, and if it's null pointer, will return. And there is a huge issue, actually. There is a huge issue. Since while the thread is working with this pointer to a subchunk, there is a huge issue since that data could be deleted. Since in the main thread, when the player moves around, some subchunks get deleted. And when they get deleted, the destructor gets called. This, which like all of this will be gone, but we have a pointer to it. Here we have a pointer to it. That's very bad, actually. That's very bad. I'll have to think about it, how I'm going to do it. What's your PC specs? Here you can look at the Minecraft, the Nvidia card, you can screenshot it and look at it. It's on the right. The CPU, you can look at it there. Hi, how are you? I'm struggling a bit. And just so you guys know, there is a storm right now. And where I'm at, when it rains, I have issues with the electricity and internet. I'm not living in the, like here, it's the electricity and internet is very volatile. So if the stream is suddenly gone, just know there's a storm here. It's just so you know. But while the stream is live, I'll continue on doing it. Continuing on to progress. But we managed to reach a tough spot. We managed to reach a very tough spot, since here I'm working with pointers. and I'm getting a reference to subchunks, the current one and the neighbors. And that's very bad, because they can get deleted at any moment since this is running on a separate thread. That's very bad. And man, so what does the thread actually attempt to do? Here, it has a request, this thread, to generate a mesh. The mesh generation needs to happen here. Absolutely, it needs to happen here in the separated thread. It needs to happen here because if the mesh generation for the subchunks, the terrain, happens in the main thread, you'll get a lag spike. And that is unplayable. Here in Minecraft, when you move around, look at how smooth it is, the generation of the chunks. It's very smooth. And for me, for that to be smooth, I needed to make it work in the separate thread. And here, even in Minecraft, in the options, you have an option for changing this actually. I think in Minecraft you can change it to not be in a separate thread. That's very interesting. I managed to find it at some point. Performance maybe? Chunk updates. Lazy chunk loading. Chunk builder threaded. Yeah, this is it. Semi-blocking. Update player affected chunks instantly. Fully blocking. Update all nearby chunks instantly. Threaded updates may briefly show holes in the terrain. Fully blocking updates may cause significant lag spikes. Yeah, let's see how they manage to do without threads. Does it lag for them without threads? How is it still running smoothly without threads for them? That's interesting. How fast is their mesh generation? Let's increase the render distance. That's surprising actually. That without threads, they don't have a lag spike. That's very interesting. It's even faster than with threads actually. It's even faster than with threads. Surprising how they do it. I'm pretty sure I turned off threads here. Yeah. Fully blocking. And now threaded. Yeah, that's very interesting how they don't have lag spikes. I have lag spikes even on a 5x5 world. Are you purchased the game? Yeah, I have the game, Minecraft. I also wanted the game, but I don't have that much money. So can you... what are you suggesting? I'm not loaded, man. Yeah, that's what we are trying to do. The mesh generation to make it on a separate thread. But the issue is, here I have the request. Here all it says is please generate the mesh for this subchunk. That's it. And the thread has gotten the request. I assume, probably. I haven't run it. I haven't run that code. We could test it here with a simple console log if it's actually working. That would be useful, but before that, it would be a lot more worth it if we figure out how to solve this issue, since I have the reference to all the neighbors. Like, I don't care if the neighbors are missing or not. The issue is keeping the reference when it gets deleted, because I can get the reference to a subchunk here, I can get the reference, and while I'm doing work, it can get deleted. and all of the data gets deleted. Might donate like 1 or 2, like you don't need to donate. Like, don't think about that. Just it would be a lot more helpful for the stream if you just watch, if you just like just watching, liking, subscribing, that to tell the algorithm that there is interest for the content. That's that will go. That's beneficial for both of us. But donating, that's beneficial mostly for the platform YouTube and Twitch, since they take a cut. This is my blockage. This doesn't allow me to continue and progress with my goal. This stops me from reaching my goal. Only this part, right here in the code. This stops me. What would be the alternative to this? The alternative would be if the request also has the data needed. Let me think about it. Why do I need this reference actually? Why do I need it? It's only to get the neighboring blocks. To get the neighboring block data. Or the deletion of subchunks, I could make it into a request system as well. I could make it in a request system as well. Like instead of deleting the subchunk, because that's what's stopping me. Here I get a reference to the subchunks, but the main thread could delete them at any moment, and it would invalidate everything. But if I handle the deletion in a different way, that could solve it. But the easiest way to make progress is to keep it simple and stupid and with ugly code, like just to get it working, and we can improve it later. We can polish it later. So what would be the easiest next step we can actually do right now to get past this blockage? What would be the easiest next step? We got to here, we got to this problem because I wanted to generate the meshes of subchunks in a separate thread. That's why we're here. It would be easier if instead of moving it to a separate thread, to improve it so that it doesn't have the lag spike without threads. Because here in Minecraft, we can look at video settings, performance. If I remove threads and it's fully blocking, you can see even with this big render distance, there are no lag spikes. 0 lag spikes. So what I could do is optimize my clone so that there are no lag spikes and not have to bother with multithreading. That would be interesting if it's possible, because I assumed it's not possible. I just assumed that. That's very interesting. How the game is not lagging without multithreading. That's very interesting. Because when we add an additional thread, when we make the code multi-threaded, it makes it a lot more complicated and harder to manage. That would be the simplest next step, if I think about it, instead of doing these requests. Yo, Splits here on another account. Yo, hello Splits. What's up? it will be difficult for me to remember you that you're splits later on. Or if you join another day, just so you know. What's your graduation? I graduate computer science, like a bachelor's degree. But I didn't go for the next step, like masters, etc. Just a bachelor's. Bro practically said, upload the game for us so Mojang can see you and we have it for free. I graduated Harvard, free seat. Yo. Mojang, Microsoft is doing every game which Minecraft like. Yeah, Phoenix made a video. Like Phoenix is a popular YouTube Minecraft content creator. Yeah, Phoenix made a video how Mojang. Here I'm not subscribed since this is my live channel. I'm subscribed on my main channel. But he made a video how Minecraft made issues to a Minecraft clone, like kinda like a oh, not this game, it was another game, I think. Yeah, I don't know, maybe it was this game that was released on Steam that looked like Minecraft, and Mojang went after them. Yeah. I probably won't. I'm new here, so how much progress have you made? Since when? Since when? I'm trying to make the world endless. We made it endless, but it had a lot of lag spikes. Like, this is the original Minecraft, and I made it endless, but I had lag spikes. And I was thinking of fixing the lag spikes by using multithreading. But here in Minecraft, in options, in video settings and performance, you can set it to not use multithreading. And look at in this big render distance, there are no lag spikes. Let's actually save and quit. And load it again to be absolutely sure that's the case. Yeah, we're not using threads. We're not using threads and there are no lag spikes. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. Is it possible for us to do it like that? Is it possible, instead of trying to make it multi-threaded, to keep it on the main thread, since it will be simpler, the code, and easier to manage, to keep it on the main thread and to figure out how to remove the lag spikes? That would be interesting. I think we can even attempt to do that. We can attempt to do that. Let's comment this code out. And let's bring back here. Let's bring it back how it was before. Let's bring back the mutex lock. And here make it void. And let's bring back the mesh generation. I changed it to make requests, but I'll have to bring it back. What does generate mesh want? Yeah, let's remove this as well. Let's remove that. Yeah, now we're generating from the main thread. What's up with this? Oh, it's a static. I need to remove the static. Generate mesh. Any issues? Doesn't look like it. Sure. And let's bring back. Where is it? Here, let's remove this return. And this is the current world. Let's remove the grid. Draw a grid. Let's remove that. Let's remove that. Okay. So this is the current situation. Look at how we have lag spikes. And my idea was to move this, the chunk loading, to move it in a separate thread. That was the idea. But we noticed, we found out in Minecraft, they don't have lag spikes, even when they don't use threads. It's fully blocking. Update all nearby chunks instantly. It's fully blocking. And they don't have lag spikes. So, instead of trying to make it multi-threaded, we can try to just fix the lag spike from the main thread. We can just do that and we're done. If we just fix the lag spike from the main thread itself. What did I miss? Minecraft isn't endless though. It's endless enough. It's endless enough. In close I made a few years ago, I used coroutines, but this was in C#. Have you planned to make your clone become totally different game further? Not exactly. If I make a game of my own, it will be a voxel game like Minecraft, but it will be a different project. It will not be this project. Why don't you use namespace std? I do use it, but not for the concurrent queue. Why don't you piracy the game? Kogame wasn't really just a clone, was a scam to get personal info from Steam. Sucks in detecting scams. I'm also a dev. Okay. Nearly a Minecraft rips have Minecraft. Chat, how many devs are there? Just get it from a key. Probably most of the viewers are developers. I assume that. The key with making this work well on a single thread is to process the chunks over multiple frames. Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. To not process it at the same time. You don't process every chunk around the player at once. That will never. Yeah. Except me, I guess. Except me, I guess everyone. 6x6 blocks is massive still. You want to build the meshing in the background constantly over frames and render them all when complete. Processing all chunks at once, but it doesn't. A GPU offloading is better than... What's MT? Multithreading. What's GPU offloading? To let the GPU do computations, or was that? I followed your Raspberry tutorial and it was very helpful. Yeah, I'll make another version for 2027. I'll make a new Raspberry tutorial for next year. So I keep it updated. 6 million by 6 million. Yeah. Let's see if we can make this continue to generate in the main thread. If we are going to do this in the main thread, how would that work? It should happen in multiple frames. We could do it in a queue, not concurrent queue, a regular queue in the world here. We can do a regular queue. And that's, if we do it like that, we don't have to worry about here the issue here with the subchunk references, since everything is on the main thread. There's no concurrency issues here with accessing neighboring subchunks. That wouldn't be an issue, but we'll see about that actually. We'll see about that. Let me think about it. Generating the mesh. Or I could, there's another thing we could do in the subchunk. Am I live? I should be live. Should be live. Yeah, something happened. I should be live. Yeah, okay, I'm live. Something happened. Yeah. Okay. I was thinking of in the subchunk, look at how the subchunk stores the data. And when we destroy the subchunk, we delete the data. But we can make a change to that. We can separate the data from the subchunk. We can separate it. And have the data. We can separate it. Because I still think we'll get issues here when we access the neighbors. Here when accessing the neighbors, if we just get the reference to the data that never gets deleted, then it will be different. I got a Minecraft PCK for 13 pounds, I think. Could you technically stop floating point precision errors by doing Kerbal Space Program DOS for future got update? But the is scam. Okay, they call me croissant. Bro, guys, but here we have Indian rupees. What are you working on today? I'm trying to make it endless. I'm trying to make the world endless. So here, it's actually endless, but I have lag spikes. So the first attempt in this stream was to have multi-threading so that we don't have the lag spike. But as a viewer suggested, we could keep it single-threaded, since it's simpler that way. We can keep it single-threaded and have the generation of meshes happen over time, over a few frames, so that we can remove the lag spikes but keep it single-threaded. It will keep it simpler. It will keep it simpler. In my country we use euros. We transition from leva to euros in this year. Welcome, I sent Indian rupee. GPU offloading is the practice of transferring heavy parallel computations from the CPU to GPU. So are you suggesting I should use like a compute shader? It would make it difficult offloading to the GPU when I use Raylib, since if everything is on the GPU, like I've done it for another Minecraft clone, the 10 million TNT clone, I offloaded everything to the GPU, but I'm not sure if I'll be able to do it with Raylib, and it will make everything a mess. I will have to make a lot of changes here when blowing up 10 million TNT. I offloaded everything to the GPU when I blew up 10 million TNT. Here, this project, everything was with compute shaders in the GPU. But I would have to refactor too much code. I'll keep the work in the CPU. When will it be done? I have no idea. 6 million blocks is the bar you have to hit. Well, hopefully we'll hit it. Is Flutter, you should profile to see what actually causing the lag spike. The profile, the lag spike is the mesh generation, is the lag spike. Because I'm trying to generate the mesh for like everything. Compute shaders wouldn't be overkill here. I would. So what are you going to tell? Build in steps, build all blocks arrays in the view range first. Then I've separated it. First I built all the block arrays. I do that first. I have them separated. And I wanted to transition the meshes in a separate chunk, but in a separate thread, but I'm thinking to do it in the main thread. They have 4 neighbors in the view range. That way you'll never get... I'll never get the neighbor block issue, sure. Yeah, that's true. But there's still the issue of, like, in the multi-threaded case, if the main thread unloads a chunk, it will delete the block array, and that's an issue. But I'm thinking on keeping everything on the main thread. Why are you not subscribed? Why should I be? I'm highly unfortunate. That's what family said. Couldn't you preload meshes to put them in? Couldn't you preload meshes to put them in when chunk generation? Yeah, but that preloading still needs to happen at some point. I'm from Bulgaria. Hello, how are you getting the mesh? I go through every block and I look at for every block the neighbors. I look at the neighboring chunks as well, their blocks. Yeah, this is a single thread approach I'm talking about. Never handled multi-thread. Okay, let's build in steps. Then you build all meshes. Yeah, but building all meshes creates a lag spike. Here. Actually, how many meshes get generated? Yeah, just these meshes cause the lag spike. The unloading is fast. Generating these faces, will ignore them, since if we just remove this, like, it fixes it. Like, this is not an issue right now. This is a priority, the lag spike. To do it in multiple frames. In multiple frames. Guess what? You do it over multiple frames, as I said before. Okay. Thank you. Do you actually generate mesh data for every block? I think you should have one instance for each unique mesh, and then use a different position for each draw call. One mesh is an entire subchunk is one mesh. It's 16 by 16 by 16 blocks, and each mesh is like I think you should have one instance for each unique mesh. Most of the meshes are unique. Most of the meshes. Do you actually generate for every block? Okay, for every block I actually generate mesh data, vertices. Yeah, for every block I actually generate for every. But I need to do it since it's conditional. It's conditional, like for every block, because here I have culling. If I have an instance for every block, how am I going to have culling? How am I going to have it? That's why I generated the vertices, normals, UVs for every block. And I need to do it this way since I have complicated ones like the anvil. I also generate the anvil. And the anvil has culling, for example, probably at the bottom. Probably at the bottom has culling. Yeah, here. The down has cull face down. Even, the meshes are different, and ambient occlusion makes a change as well. I'm not sure how this will work. It will stop those missing block faces if you read all my comments. Have to go and take care. I'll check in from time to time. Okay. Yeah, I'll go back to what you said. I'm just going through all the other comments. But I'll go back to what you said as well. The entire chunk is a mesh. Only a subchunk, 16 by 16 by 16. I'm an Indian viewer. Hello. I don't know if you have already, but you maybe consider using uint8 for block data. I'll see about that. Right now it's an enum, but I am not worrying about that right now. GPU offloading is a non-blocking approach that moves heavy parallel work from CPU to GPU, avoiding main thread stalls and improving performance. You should try. Right now I want to see if I can do it in a single thread in the CPU. I got no clue what we are doing in the backend, but I'm still all for it. Yeah, that's totally fine. That's totally fine. Why don't you use AI to help you? Because if the AI does the work, I will not get satisfaction once the work is done. So that's why I don't need it. Like, why would I use it right now? Right now I don't need it. Like, it would be so boring if I have a problem, then the AI solves it. Like, the goal here is for me to learn. I don't want to offload my thinking for this particular project. If I'm doing another project that I don't care about, sure, like whatever, I don't care about that. But this is important project for me. I don't want to offload my thinking. Let's look at his comments. Build in steps. Build all block arrays. Sure, I'm doing that. I'm building all block arrays. Where is it? Where is it? Loading new chunks. Here I generate the blocks. I go over all the new chunks, and if they are new ones, I generate their blocks. If I should remove, and here I unload the ones I don't need. I am doing it in steps. I'm doing it in steps. Then you build all meshes for all chunks that have 4 neighbors in the view range. But the issue here is, I said that already, if I build all meshes, that's a lag spike. That's a lag spike. For all chunks that have 4 neighbors in the view range, that way you will never get neighbor block issue. And you said that this will work even if it's in a couple of... you said this will work even if I do the mesh generation in multiple frames. But I'm not sure how that will be possible, since in the... Let me think about it, actually. Let me think about it before I comment. So I'll have to remove this, since this is what causes the lag spike. Here, and if we run it, we get the unloading, we get the generation of the blocks, just not of the mesh. The mesh doesn't get generated. And here there are no lag spikes. The generation of the meshes causes the lag spike. Here, this part is what causes the lag spike, since we do it for too many subchunks. And in a single frame we try to do it. To remove the lag spike, this needs to happen in multiple frames. And we could do that by here in the queue. Here this. Here, to use just a queue, a regular queue, we don't need concurrency anymore. We don't need concurrency. Yeah, like this. Let's remove this. Yeah, like that. Yeah, like that. So here, instead of generating all the meshes, we'll just put a request for them. That's it. We'll put a request, and this is still all on the main thread. And so here, every frame, we can process like just one subchunk. Here const int limit how many mesh per frame generated. Let's do 1 per frame. Generate 1 mesh per frame. Yeah, here. So if let's do it after we process the input here, and after we update the camera here. If we need to get reference to the queue of vector 3 requests world get requests, and here if they are requests empty, if they are requests, if it's not empty, we'll get one of the requests. Let's pop it. Requests. Let's pop it. Does it give a reference? What does it give? It's a void. Oh, it just removes, so I need to get the front. What does it give? Do I need to get a reference? I don't care about that. Requests pop. And now, and let's keep count of how many we've gotten. Handled requests equals 0. Here, we'll increase it by 1. And here we can do while we have requests and the handled requests are less than the limit, to execute this code. So we'll generate a subchunk mesh, like one subchunk mesh per frame we'll generate at most, and we'll play around with how many we can do. So we have the request. We need to now generate it. Let's look for it. If we can find it, and if the mesh is not generated, to generate the mesh. That's it. Let's test it. Build failed. Why? std Is it generating anything? Is it doing it? I don't think so. Oh, have I implemented? Yeah, I push it. Main. Do I get to here? That's what I want to see. We're very close. Yeah, we get to here. We get to here. The subchunk position is, if it lets me see it, locals. How can I? Okay, let's make it as a not reference. Yeah, okay. Yeah, let's continue. No. Let's try again. Debug. Oh, it's in the, we're in the release. Let's actually debug it. So we have the position. that we request, and we actually get it from the world, and we ask for the mesh to get generated. And so does it do it? We'll have to use a profiler. We'll use a profiler to see what's up. What did I miss? What did I miss? Yeah, you could just have your subchunks draw data be a list of mesh position orientation. So a floating block might be 6. Yeah, I'm confused here. I probably won't even do. I'll look at your question later. I'll look at it later. Hello, how's it going? It's going very well actually, because the idea of not using multi-threading to solve the problem, I really liked it. We got a sneaky moderator in chat. There's no moderator here. I don't have a moderator. I don't know who the moderator is, but it's not me. It's not me, and I don't have moderators. Maybe I'll make Maskelly a moderator. We'll see. Use Claude for just a little work. He doesn't want to offload his thinking. It'll cost him money. But I got 3 concrete reasons why. What you do pixel art yourself? I will never do the art myself because I'm not a good artist. I'm just a programmer. Hopefully I can find a teammate. He wants to learn from this and do yeah, I want to learn from this. Do you have your code somewhere? No, I don't have it. I think we could give more. No, that's fine, that's fine. You just watch and enjoy or work in parallel. Like do your own work, as if we're in a library. We can both be accountable to each other. It will cost you money to work properly. Done some progress. Yo, what's up, Maskelly? Done some progress like world setting, main character. Vector 3 subchunk position equals vector 3. Yeah, what is this about? You forgot to close the constructor call. The constructor call. The subchunk position. Yeah, I'll just search it in the Control F. It's not finding it. Maybe it's in another place. Here maybe? Yeah, most likely it's this. It looks fine. Yeah, let's move on. I'll look at this later. If there makes mistakes, it will be hard to resolve. Okay, then I'll give you a challenge. Wait, there's so many messages. I'm going prompt brought what happens if what happens if you add a spider? I have a creeper and a skeleton, but that's in the Java clone. Create a bro thinks we're gonna make a game cause okay, there's a long chat. I joked about a game. Okay, let's make progress. Let's make progress. Yeah, let's open the Tracy. Let's open Tracy. Let's enable it. Let's enable Tracy and see what's up. We'll see in the profiler what's going on. Oh, actually, let's stop it. Let's stop it. Let's stop it. We need to add messages for the profiler in the new code. Here we need profile scope, and what should it be called? What should be the name? Here, generate mesh frame by frame. Attempt, and here no, we'll be able to notice it. Yeah, let's start the profiler. Let's wait for the terrain to load. Okay, everything has loaded, and let's try to move. And let's look at the profiler. Let's see what happened here. Here in the main loop, code when crossing chunk. Okay, that's different. Code when crossing chunk is different. Here, what's this? What's this? That's different. We don't care about that. Here, attempting to generate mesh frame by frame. Generate mesh, go through all blocks. It's actually generating a mesh. And here, what's this? What's this? Position details. Get block. Huh. That's different maybe. Attempt to generate mesh frame by frame. Frame by frame. Yeah, it looks like it's working, but we're not seeing the generated mesh. We have to see why we're not seeing. Oh, maybe because I removed the flag. Maybe because I removed the flag. And I didn't. Oh no, it's not that. It's different. It's different. Mesh is actually generated. And from the profiler, it looks like it's actually generating a mesh. Oh no, actually, that's not the case actually, because here we get to go through all blocks. That's where we go to, and we don't have. We're going through all blocks, but there's more to it. There's more to it. Where is it? Here. We are missing mesh preparation, actually. So we are going through this, but we are not going through mesh preparation because of here, the return. Okay, we'll debug here, but after we generate the initial terrain. Yeah, after we generate this. Okay, let's put a debug point here. Do we get here at some point? No, we don't get there. So that's the issue. That's the issue. That's the issue. It's actually running this code, but the indices are 0. The indices are 0 for some reason. Why would that be the case? That's interesting. That's interesting. I don't have a original game idea. I don't have an original game idea. For now, I'm just making a one-to-one copy. So when we go through all the blocks, we get the current block. Let me think about it. Oh, let's do a breakpoint before this, so that we can see what data is in the arrays. Let's do that. But let's wait the terrain to load. And let's do it now. Let's do it here. It should reach here. Yeah, it reached there. So positions is empty. Really? Empty. Yeah, position. So position size all the time is 0. That's weird. And so we don't reach here. Here. So the culling. It's because of the culling. This says if So why would that be the... Oh, let's actually do a breakpoint there. Let's do a breakpoint there. Do we have any of the neighbors? Some of the neighboring chunks are null pointers. And what does the blocks data look like? Blocks, we need to do +0, then 16 by 16 by 16. Something like that. Or like let's do like 4000. Doesn't matter. Just so we can look at the array. Yeah, it's all grass blocks. So there is data actually. So what's the issue? That's really confusing. Huh. That's really confusing, but why are these separated? Come on, man. Yeah, like that. Okay. Let's see if we are making a mistake before all of this. Here. How did we generated them? Yeah, I have to see them. Here we do a request. We do a request and generating subchunk mesh. That's what we did before. We did the request, but before it was this. Let's do it like this. Let's remove this. Let's remove the request. Let's try again. Now let's move around. Huh. Yeah, we have a big clock spike. But it's managing to... Yeah, it manages to generate new terrain, sure. But this is the approach we had before. This new approach makes it so generating a subchunk happens frame by frame. Okay, we get the position, but we get it as a reference. Is that the issue? Let's make it just be a copy. That would be the fastest way to check if that's the issue. Let's try again. Now let's move. No, it's only unloading, but it's not creating the new mesh. And the code is pretty much the same, almost. So here in the requests, we push the position. In the while true loop, Does this need to be a reference? That's not the issue. Handled requests, sure. Yeah, okay, I get the position of the subchunk that needs generation, and here it gets to here for sure. And I hit generate mesh for that subchunk. The limit is 1 per frame, sure. And I get the front and I pop it. And I hit generate mesh. So what's the issue? Oh, I can... The issue is that with subchunk, the issue is we looked through we debugged the code. The issue is that there are no, like, the code never reaches here. Never goes past this. Never. That's really weird. For something to be zero, value can be corrupted. Yo, what's up? The old system... There is not much difference between the old and the new. The only difference is I make the mesh generation happen over frames, to not happen in a single frame. That's the main difference. That's really weird. Use integer coordinates. No, find works without issue. Like the debug shows the find is actually working. It stops here. This is what stops it. It doesn't reach here. Like the positions are always empty. Most likely because of culling. It's culling everything. But I'll see about that. Call generate mesh on the... I'm using the main thread. I'm not doing it multi-threaded. Set mesh generated true after execution. I set it to true as well. Add logging inside generate mesh. I have the profiler. I don't need logging. Have a challenge. No, I don't have... Oh, to confirm. Oh yeah, let's remove the limit. Yeah, you're right. Let's remove the limit. Yeah, you're right. You're right. How it determines I'll do that. I'll do that. He's working with C++ and Relib. There is no other, so can generate. Yeah, let's do that. That was a good suggestion, actually, to remove the limit. So it will be almost the same as before. If we remove the limit here, this thing, let's remove it. So it should happen in a single thread. So we should have the lag spike. We should have the lag spike. Yes, it happened. Okay, we can do something else. We can do something else where we change the limit to be more subchunks per frame. So here let's do how many? Like let's do 100 per frame. Let's do 100 per frame. Shit. What? Okay, let's do 50. Let's do 50. And let's switch to release mode since it's faster. Let's do 50. Let's do 50 and see what's up. It's working. Man, it's acting very weirdly. Those stutters. Let's do 25. Let's do 25. It's not like before. It's actually pretty good. But it's acting very weirdly. Oh, let's remove the profiler. Because it reached again 40 megabytes of RAM. Oh, let's remove the profiler. Yo! Yo! It's perfect. It's perfect. And it's running on the main thread. Well, I'm not sure if it's actually perfect. There are no lag spikes. And I'm not using multi-threaded code. It's all on the main thread. Everything. That's cool. Yeah. That's cool. Yeah. That's cool. It's actually endless. Yeah, that's cool. Now we can have biomes. But we need to fix some stuff. If we look behind us, don't get jump scared. We have these missing faces. We have these missing faces. And some trees get cut out. But these are minor issues. These are minor issues. To fix that, we need a buffer around the visible chunks to have invisible chunks so that we can get what's the data there, and it will solve this issue. But it's cool we don't have lag spikes. And the inspiration came from how Minecraft does it. Because in Minecraft, in the settings, I randomly picked here to not use threaded. Here, threaded means to use like threads in the background for generating the chunks. But there's an option to be fully blocking. And hitting that option, look at how there are no lag spikes in Minecraft. And I was like, okay, since Minecraft can do it in one thread, why cannot we do it? That's really cool. And that was my inspiration. And so here, we're running it in a single thread. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, let's see what's up with chat. They generate in anti-clockwise parallel because I coded them like that. We can easily change it in whatever order we want. Increase or adapt the per frame mesh generation limit. Culling uses updated bounding boxes, so new subchunks are actually rendered. No way, bro. Actually, bro broke the character. When did he say he was family friendly? Why the chunks all of a sudden generate? He 40 mega. No, it was 40 gigabytes of RAM because of the memory leak. Yo, yeah, I told you, nice rendering, very nice. Single thread in Bix 2026. How did you make it run on one thread? Well, watch the stream, man, watch the stream. Not a lot is happening, so only chunk action really is going. Bro, actually fixed the RAM. No mobs, no blocks breaking, just render. No, I have block breaking. I can break blocks. But it's not finished. It's like just really simplified. Let me run it again. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that was cool. No mobs. Yo. Oh, he fixed. No, I haven't fixed the RAM issue. There's still memory leak. I'm sure of it. Yeah, I'll increase the render distance. Use time budget mesh generation. Time budgeted mesh generation. What's that? Update bounding boxes for culling. Nearby subchunks. Yeah, I'll just copy your message and think about it at another time. I think if you test different render distance, yeah, I'll test different render distance. Yeah, I'll add gravity and inventory. Increase render, this is amazing. Let's torture this. Increase 40 gig. I was saying you weren't. Yeah, okay. Let's increase the render distance. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Right now it's, how much is it? Right now it's 8 by 8. Let's do 12 by 12 and see if it actually generates. Okay, this is the world. It's generating. Yo. It's generating. There isn't a lag spike. There isn't a lag spike. Let's increase it more. Let's increase it to 20 by 20. 20 by 20 world size. This is bigger. Let's see now. It's generating. Yo. And there are no lag spikes. And all of this is running on a single thread. On the main thread. There's no multi-threading. And that's cool. Yeah, that was way better approach. Because it simplifies the code. It simplifies the code. It's not the fastest generation. It's not the fastest, but the goal was the previous stream, the goal was to make it endless. And this stream the goal was to remove the lag spike. That was the goal. This, that it's slow, that's not an issue for me. Let's do 20, let's do 35 by 35 world size. This is 35 by 35. And there are no lag spikes, but it's slowly generating. It's very, very slowly generating. It's slowly generating. But the unloading is fast. The unloading is fast. But at least we don't have lag spikes. Yeah, it's still generating, just slowly. What's up? That was easy. How big is 32 chunks? Like I'm doing 35 by 35 world. How big is 32 render distance? Is it like 32 times 2 plus 1? So 65. Let's do 65 by 65. Let's see what happens. This generation is not the endless terrain. This is still the initial generation. I'm waiting it for it to finish. It has finished, and let's now see if the terrain is endless. Is it generating anything? It's generating there. But it looks weird. If I move around the mouse, it looks weird when it's a big render distance. Oh, this will be the goal for a different stream. This problem. I know how to fix it. I know how to fix this problem. I'll have to prioritize the chunks around me, and it will make it faster. Minecraft doesn't generate it like that. We saw that Minecraft, here, Minecraft, if we go really fast, let's go game mode spectator. If we go really fast, you'll see how Minecraft prioritizes what's around us. Here, look at how it prioritizes what's in front of me when you go fast. Here, it prioritizes the chunks around me. This is what we need, but this will be for a different stream. And look at what we got. And this is impossible in my current code. This is impossible in my code. I need to make it prioritize the blocks around me. Yeah, this is what we need to do. We are very close to handling big render distance. Why are you making it? To learn? It's actually... What is total? Let's not look at the RAM. Let's not look at... Use time budget loop. Recalc bounding boxes. Yeah, I screenshotted that. I'll look at it later. Fix extremely fast to force more chunks to load. Rip it through. No, it's nothing but infinite. Yeah, I'm making infinite world generation. Yeah, for that will be in a different stream. We showed it moving fast. Minecraft Pro loads the chunks around us. Yeah, we'll do it in a different stream. Current CPU, I've shown it before. Is there a segment in the screen where I made Minecraft code to accept I made it into my own thing? That's nice that you've managed to make it in your own thing. Yeah, I need to know what chunk the player is in. Yes. But that will be in a separate stream, for sure. This initial generation is multi-threaded. This is multi-threaded, the initial generation. This is from the old code. I haven't deleted it. But the generation after that is from me. The generation after that is from me. Is from a single thread. So if we put it back at 5 by 5, this is from the single thread. This is single threaded. The initial terrain generation is using a separate thread, but this is just on the main thread. We'll make it prioritize just around the player, but it will not be today. Yeah, I'll add biomes. The reason I wanted infinite terrain is to add biomes. I wanted to add the snow biome because it will be cool if we have the snow biome. What if you set it to one generation? It should still work. Think that part of the issue lies on lot. No, I don't care about lot. Current making origin match 3 blocks. First in, oh yeah, water. Water will be in a separate stream. But this was the goal, to remove the lag spike. We achieved our goal. We achieved our goal. Here is it 1 by 1. This is 1 by 1. It's still working. And this is 1 by 1. But we achieved our goal of making it and not have a lag spike. I cannot do -1, like it's impossible to, it will not even start if it's -1. Here, -1, let's see what happens. It will not even start. Like, if it starts, yeah, it will not even start. It will not even start. Okay, I'll try 0, I'll try 0. But it's your suggestion, it's not mine. Here we don't have any chunks. We don't have anything. I'm moving the mouse around and I don't see anything. That was 0. And this is 12. Actually, I think we can even fix this. I think we can fix it. If we set this to be... How much should it be? 13 by 13, maybe? But here it should be... Where is it? Here it should be the visible size. I think that should fix it probably. Yeah, because doing it this way, it's getting the neighbors probably. Yeah, we don't have, I think, the missing subchunks. What's up with you? No, it's perfect. Yeah, now we have a buffer, we have a simulated distance. We fixed the issue with the missing faces, I think. I think we fixed it. The missing faces. There were some meshes missing and I think we fixed that. I think we managed to fix that. Yeah, now I don't see any issues. Now I don't see any issues. That's cool. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, it's actually infinite. Here we have a generated flower under the tree. Yeah, that's cool. And all of this is in a single thread. That's cool. Yeah, that's cool. And this is the initial solution. I haven't done any additional changes. We may get some ideas to make it different. Yeah, that's cool. And I don't see missing faces. I don't see lag spikes. It looks fine. And this was the goal, to remove the lag spikes. Initially I wanted to use multi-threading, but we managed to do it in a single thread. Okay, let's do frame time, the FPS. It's around, if I don't move, is 1000. If I don't, but this is 5x5 world. This is low FPS, since we don't have custom culling. If we have custom culling, FPS will be a lot better. Oh, frame spikes. Yeah, we'll see about measuring frame spikes. We'll see. I don't know how to tackle that. Maybe from Tracy, the profiler, we'll see. Or maybe to implement something my own. We'll see about it. But this was it for this stream. We achieved the goal. We are close to 3 hours. This is it for the stream. We managed to reach the 3-hour limit. We managed to make progress. That's it for today. And I have a limit of the hours so that I don't burn out. And I can stream mostly every day. Yeah, I'll look at your suggestions. I'll look at your suggestions. Marco, I'll look at your suggestions. But after I end the stream. Sand stream. So implementing sand. Convert large histograms in positivity measure. Yeah. Yeah, so thank you guys for being here and making company. We'll have to end it. For the next stream, we'll see what we will add. Maybe the next stream we'll do either the snow biome, or maybe adding the player, or maybe creative inventory. We'll see about it. But that's it for today. Yeah, bye guys.